Hello and welcome to another video. Let's find a power function given 2 points. Now in front of you, you should see f of 2 equals 5/4 and f of 5 equals 1/5. Now you may ask, okay, Miss Gumin, well how in the world are these 2 points? Well, you know how usually it's f of x? So that 2 in the first one is the x coordinate. And then we have 5/4 as our y. In the next one we have 5 for x, 1/5 as our y. Okay. Now then, a power function looks like this. Y equals x to the power of p. We actually have parts of this equation already. We have an x and y for both of them. All right. Well, let's color code and make it easier for me. Let's make this one red and this one blue. Okay, so let's write 2 equations for them. Okay. So for the red point, we have 5/4, because that's the y, equals a. The x is 2 to the power of p. Okay, for the blue function, our y is 1/5, so we have, oh, whoops, sorry, I'm just trying to zoom in and clearly failing. Okay, there we go. We have 1/5 equals a. Our x was 5 to the power of p. Okay, now this is actually a system of equations. Why not? There's 2 equations, there's 2 variables, a and p. Why not make it a system? Okay, so if it's a system, something I can do to them is divide. Why not? So I'm going to divide the first one by the second one. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to make it green. Well, actually, red and blue, so we should have purple. Purple! Okay. So, 5/4, I'm going to do this math on the sides just so you can see it in case you aren't doing it with a calculator. 5/4 divided by 1/5. Remember, when you're dividing fractions, it's the same thing as multiplying by reciprocal. So we have 25/4. You multiply straight across. Okay, so this creates, make that an arrow, 25/4 equals. Okay. What is a divided by a? Well, it kind of cancels out. It's 1. Awesome! If the a's are canceled, that means we only have to deal with one variable. Now, what we end up with is 2 to the power of p and 5 to the power of p. Luckily for us, we can use some powers of, or some rules of exponents to rewrite this. So we actually have 25/4 equals 2/5 to the power of p. So when you have 2 bases with the same power, we can pull it out and make it into like a fraction. So this is a quotient rule. All right. So hopefully you're still quite familiar with this. If not, there's your refresher. This is allowed, it's legal, it's beautiful. Okay. Now let's look at these 2 numbers. We have 25/4 and 2/5. I notice a relationship. I see this 25 and this 5. They're related to each other. 5 to the power of 2 is 25. We also have this 4 and this 2. They're related to each other, right? 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So 5 squared is 25, 2 squared is 4. The power then should technically be 2, right? However, we have an issue. 2 squared should be on top. 5 squared should be on the bottom. But it's flipped. Recall the rule that makes an exponent flip something. That would be a negative. So p should equal -2. And I'll show you that work on the side here. 2/5 to the power of -2. That's 2 to the -2nd, 5 to the -2nd. Negative exponents tell us to flip, so we have 5 squared over 2 squared, which is 25 over 4. All right. So, according to this, we found one of our variables. Let's use one of our equations. How about, I don't know, that first one? Just what I feel like doing. I can show you with both. Okay. So, y equals ax to the power of p. Let's plug in that p. P is negative 2. That's our power. Let's use the 2 for the x. Then we have a 5/4. So I'm going to rewrite that 5/4. I don't like it. Don't like it. Let's try that again. Okay. I'm going to move this over. So give me a second. And give us some space. Okay. That was almost perfect. Fix it just a little bit. Okay. Well, we have p. We can solve for a. Let's find a. 2 to the negative second is actually 1 over 2 to the positive second. So 5/4 equals a times 1/4. That a looked like a 9. Let's rewrite it. All right. Let's get a alone. And we'll do that by dividing both sides by 1/4. And I'll do that work on the side. 5/4 divided by 1/4. Dividing fractions is multiplying by reciprocal. These 4's cancel. Our answer is 5. 5 equals a. Negative 2 equals p. We have enough to write our power function. All right, so our power function should be, let's use a different color. How about green? Y equals 5x to the negative second. All right, I used the a, I used the p, I plugged it in. Let's see if it works. Now I used the first point to find the 5, so let's use the second point to test it out and see if it works. Okay, so our second point has a y of 1/5, so 1/5 equals. So I'm going to rewrite that equals in green y, because I think that's what I should do. Okay, 5, and then we have our x, which is 5, and we have to the power of negative 2. All right, let's solve it. So we have 1/5 equals 5 times 1 over 5 squared. So 1/5 equals 5 times 1 over 25. Let's keep going. Let's hope this is true. Let's hope it's true. Okay, let's simplify. Let's continue to simplify. So 1/5 equals 5 over 25. And you know what? That is true. Let's show that. We divide 5 and 25 by 5. And then I can end it with 1/5 equals 1/5. Awesome. This is our function. I hope this was helpful. If not, let me know. I can provide some more examples. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of whatever time of day it is. And, yeah. Bye.